Let's play some hockey!
Energetic, passionate, and savvy. Gouche Live. Brought to you by the good people at the Hockey News and Sports Illustrated. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Gouche.
Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Gouche Live. This is extra special. I got my Canadian coffee cup. I got my German jersey that I'm wearing in honor of the game today. Canada versus Germany. You know where it's at? It's in Beijing, China. And I got Mike Beharrell coming on with us in a few minutes. But before we do that, of course, I'm going to have our German correspondent, Schopy, join me. Listen, it's Take the Jersey Off My Back. Don't forget, it's going till Monday, February 14th. It's Valentine's Day. Hey, why don't you get your loved one a Gouche hockey jersey right here live? You're going to have some fun with that. I've got some red ones, so instead of getting her roses, you get her a jersey. All right, listen, this is going to be one of those great days because there's hockey, and I'm excited to bring it to you. And what's more important is we're around the world. Yes, we are. And it's been brought to you by those good people at Hockey News and, of course, Fired Up Network. This is a new set downstairs in Gouche Live production. I will be at the studio later this afternoon filming or recording Gene Principe. Yes, sir. He's coming on tomorrow to talk about what is going on in Edmonton. It's a disaster. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here he is all the way from Krefeld, Germany. It's Schopy.
Hi, Kerry. Good morning for you.
What's going on? Hey, it's going to be a little bit different because my buddy Mike Beharrell, who is our Chinese correspondent or Olympic correspondent, we're having coffee and he's having beer.
Yeah, that's 7 hours later. Yeah.
So we're just getting our new set all done up. It's this is now in our offices at home. We're learning how to use it also. Thank you for joining us so early in the morning. I know it's 6:30 for us, but of course it's 12:30 for you. And today's a big day. These two teams that are going up against each other, as we know, are teams that played in the Olympics in 2018. Germany beat Canada, if you remember that. And what's more important is Canada ended up with a bronze and Germany ended up with a silver. Schopy, talk to us about what we're going to see from this new version. Let's say old version, because there's a lot of returning players on Team Germany.
Yeah, we have a lot of experience in the team now. We have 10 guys from the Olympics 2018 when they won silver. And this spirit, I think, bring this 10 guys to the team now with a new coach. And I heard some news every day from our equipment manager from Krefeld. He is equipment manager from the national team also. And he said it's unbelievable. You can say it's not like a world championship. It's Olympic, and the guys are very happy to be there and to play for Germany, and they feel the respect from the other countries because they won silver 4 years ago, and I think the Olympics the teams are so close together. Maybe Finland is, for me, one of the best teams at the moment. And and then they know they have a good chance to get a medal again.
All right. Well, of course, I had an opportunity to talk to Franz Reindl and, of course, your good friend, too, Christian Fluga, last week. And they talked about this team having confidence going into the Olympics, not just wanting to play well, but they actually are playing to win. And that's the big difference between this team, Germany, that we see now, obviously without the NHL, without Draisaitl and Stützle and Grubauer and net. They certainly have a lot of players that are coming out of the DL, some of them out of North America, and of course some at the KHL and around all of Europe. Talk to us about who we would be looking for to perform today as the leaders without Draisaitl and Stützle.
Yes, we have a lot of heroes there. Kühnhackl, he played in Sweden now. Or Toby Rieder, he played in Sweden. Or our German forward, Nöbels, he is from Krefeld. He's one of the best forwards in Germany now. He has a lot of confidence, and I think the goalies, Danny Austenberg, and he won silver in 2 years ago, and I think this group, Cahoon, you know him, and this group will I think they know how they can play, and they know what it's important to play. And Tony Söderholm, the coach, had, hey, it's a small ring. Okay, we have a little problem maybe the first game with a smaller ring, but now they have a game against Slovakia last week, and I think they feel very comforted. And the coach said we need to play fast, very fast, and then every other team has to know that they can lose against Germany. So,
Hey, Schopy, talk to me about the confidence level then, and the excitement in Germany. Obviously, with the COVID situation, it certainly hasn't gone the way everybody had planned. Obviously, today you play a team that has in Canada that has a lot of veterans, and then certainly has some exciting young stars like Owen Power. We're going to be led by Eric Stahl. What's the excitement in Germany about the fact that they won a silver? The expectations are going to be high now that the NHL's not there. But this is a formidable team. What's the feeling like when you go into the Krefeld Arena and listen to people talk about this game today?
yeah, it's unbelievable. You can every day, the last few days, every day, every TV channels, sports channels, they show the pictures from 4 years ago, and they have a very good expert now, Christian Ehrhoff. He works for Eurosport now, and he said it's unbelievable. Every fans are very happy because at the moment they can go to the arenas because COVID, and they are very happy to see now the Olympic Games, and it's unbelievable in Germany. So I think the TV channels they didn't show hockey the last years so much. Now they show everything from hockey, and Christian Ehrhoff said it's for us is a good chance with our experienced team against the others. So without Draisaitl, without Stützle, without Grubauer, it's no problem for this team. The spirit is there, and they know what they can play, what they can beat every team. And last 4 years ago they lost the first two games, and after they won silver. We have to see, and I think it will. Every game will be very close normally, and so everybody is excited to watch these games.
All right.
Yeah.
Schopy, we're going to bring in Mike Beharrell. He's all the way in Beijing, China. He's right out the door. We're going to be seeing people flooding into this game. Not flooding because they're only allowing X amount of people, but it's really cool that you're in Krefeld, Germany. I'm in Toronto, Canada, and now we have Mike Beharrell coming in all the way from Beijing, China. Mike.
Hello, yeah, happy to join you, gentlemen, and talk a little hockey today.
Hey, Mike, what's cool is you're wearing I see a Swedish flag on your shoulder. I know that Schopy's drinking out of a German cup. I should have been wearing Team Canada, but it's the only one I could get. This is a jersey I wore in Timmendorfer Strand for a charity game a few years ago. So I wanted to give the Germans a little bit of a chance today because people are still saying that Canada, US, Finland, these are the teams to look forward to. But I'll tell you what, Mike, how the Germans put the 2018 World on notice when they won the silver medal. Are you of the same opinion? I know you've been in the rink and out of the rink. You're right beside the rink. It's so exciting.
Yeah, no, I would expect the Germans to do quite well. We talked here earlier, but they have a large contingent, half the team, I think, is returning from the Korean Olympics. So I would say there's a lot of experience with what's going on with them. Switzerland's the only team I think that's bringing back a couple more players. So, but yeah, it's pretty awesome to get to go see. I was fortunate to go see one of the women's games here, Sweden Czech, a little while ago, and just the atmosphere actually around the events, even though they can't have a lot of people going in. The games, everybody here is looking forward to the games, especially these two games tonight with Germany playing Canada and the U.S. obviously playing China.
Well, Mike, you know it's in the morning here. I know you're saying night, and it's afternoon. Schopy, are you drinking coffee with us?
Yes, coffee.
Yeah.
And
well, let's do a prost. Prost.
He has beer. Mike has beer.
Oh, there you go. And it's got to be raspberry. Hey, listen, Schopy, you're not going anywhere yet because I want to have a prediction from you, but I want to show you a video here. I don't know if Jordan could pull it up. There's a video that's of the arena. It looks fantastic. It's exactly where you are right now, Mike. It is what's the name? Is it called? It's
Wukesong. Wukesong is a sport. Yeah, we're playing under Wukesong there. Because of sponsorships, it's normally Cadillac Arena, but we're Wukesong Arena right now.
All right, let's see if we can pull this video up. Look at that.
Oh, that's they're just outside. So the Hawashi Live. Yeah, the lights outside is pretty awesome.
So is that the actual rink?
That's so where you see this front. You are, if you turned around and be about 50 meters the other direction, that's the rink. So we have two on site that are side by side, almost identical.
All right. So that is a phenomenal picture. So this is the actual rink then.
Yeah. So exactly, and right behind that is Huashi. So we have two spectacular world-class facilities, like within a couple hundred meters of each other on site here.
Well, I needed to do this before I let Schopy go, of course, is look at this. Explain this picture. This is three kids that come to the rink every day. And look at what jersey the young boy is wearing for you today, Schopy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these three young guys are actually phenomenal young hockey players, and they would show up all the time wearing different national team jerseys. But Joe in the Danish one, that was his favorite. Casper wearing the German one, and then Swedish one with the young guy Chris. So it was actually, let's just say, leading up to the Olympics, there was a lot of fanfare from all the young kids who are looking forward to getting to see some games.
Yeah, it looks great, unbelievable.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, you'd be amazed at the passion that the young kids have and the knowledge that these kids have of some of these teams. I guarantee that they probably know more than I do. So it's great to see.
All right, so Schopy, we're going to ask you first to pick your player of the game today. Who do you think is going to be the most important player? Is it goaltending? Is it coming from the back end on the defensive core, or is somebody going to light it up on the forward? Who do you look forward to seeing today?
Yeah, I think our starting goalie is the young Matthias Niederberger. He's and this season the best goalie in our league. And Danny Austenbirken, he had a lot of problems, injuries this season. So I think Niederberger is ready, mental ready, and physical ready for this game. And then the international players like Cahoon, Kühnhackl, Rieder, and so the experience in the D is very important, I think, today. With Moritz Müller, the captain, or Marco Nowak. I think that's the guys who will lead the team.
Is Nowak the son of Dan Nowak?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
God. Danny's a great player. Hey, listen, Mike, that you heard a name, Kühnhackl, that is pedigree. He is the son of Eric Kühnhackl, who is the player of the century in 2000. He was an absolute superstar. He was the actual Wayne Gretzky of Germany. And so we have the royalty. All right, Schopy, your prediction for today. Canada versus Germany in Wukesong Sports Arena.
What do I
your
didn't
prediction.
understand.
You got to make a prediction. Canada versus Germany. What do you think the score is going to end up?
I think 3-2 for Canada after overtime.
All right, Schopy. Well, you keep those thoughts up. Mike and I are probably going to have a little bit different. I'm going with 5-2. Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Canada. I'm going to go with 3-2 regulation.
All right. Well, we'll see who's right there. Schopy, always a pleasure having. We're going to have you on more, of course, as Germany goes through the preliminary rounds in the Olympics 2022, obviously in Beijing. Can't thank you enough for joining us, bud.
Okay, thank you, guys. Mike, have a nice time there, and hope to see you again. Bye-bye.
Go Canada and
Bye.
Germany.
Yes.
All right. Schopy is a reporter from Krefeld, Germany. Obviously, he follows the national team and follows the Krefeld Penguins in the DEL. He's one of the top reporters, and we're so blessed to have him on this morning. All right, Mikey, it's nighttime in Beijing. I've had the opportunity to see it live because you've actually taken me through probably a half hour, even longer, 45 tour of this amazing place. It's called Washi Live. What an amazing place. I've got some pictures here that I'll pop up, and obviously first I'd like to talk to you about where you're at. Here we are in a little German, sorry.
Oh yeah. So this is where I'm at. I'm at the Yanjing Beer Hut number 9. The Washi Yanjing Beer Hut
Yanjing
Beer Hut number 9.
Number 9.
And actually it's I'm right, like I said, this overlooks our complex. So there's the Wukesong complex has a huge I don't even know how to describe it. Arts. We're an athletic arts entertainment center. So this little place has a great view of the Wukesong behind me. So I thought it'd be a good spot to come and have a little discussion, talk a little hockey, and especially right now they're just starting to load the people in. So the proprietor was gracious enough to let me shoot some video from here.
All right.
He just stepped out. Otherwise, I was going to get him to say hello here too. He just stepped out the door. So if he comes back in, I'll let him say a quick hello.
All right. I know that. Well, obviously, we've got a great. Here's the name of the bar, right? It's a local. It would be like if you're in Germany and you're just walking down your local bar.
Yeah, that's the Yanjing beer. That's they're part of the sponsors here for the Olympics.
Well, that's amazing. And I know that you have a special guest there. I think her name's Dee Dee. Did she step out too?
Yeah, Dee Dee's, no, she's here, and Dee Dee looks after me for anything that I need. Dee Dee, you want to come and help say hello? So she actually is also a volunteer for the
hello.
For the Olympics here.
Hi, Hockey News.
Yeah, and she is actually going to get to go after we do this, and she's going to watch the game live.
I'm lucky today. I can be in the audience today for the game.
Okay, so Dee Dee, I got to ask you a question then. If you're going over and watching the game, who are we cheering for, Germany or Canada?
Today I cheer for Canada.
Yes.
加拿大加油.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Dee Dee, I know that you're a big part of the organization team there. We want to thank you for being a part of it. We look forward to seeing you one day in Beijing. Mike had the opportunity to take me around the area. If I could ask you personally, the excitement, even though it's COVID, I got an opportunity to see some of the videos and some of the pictures that have been sent over. Beijing is excited about hosting these games.
Yeah, just about the excitement in the city for the games. I'm just going to close the door here. She'll explain this here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Introduce the place, right?
Yeah. No. I'd like you also to give me a thought
just a
on.
minute. The boss come here.
Hello, boss.
This is the boss Liang. He's the owner of this shop.
Hello,
So-
out of Canada.
Thanks for his help. We can have the interview here today.
Ah, wonderful. Can you ask him?
欢迎来到燕京9号华西店品尝啤酒。
Welcome you to Beijing, to China, just especially for this place to taste the beer, the original, here.
Well, Dee Dee, can you tell him that I will be there soon as soon as we're able to travel to China. The first place I'm going to come is to your Washing Yenqin Beer
Yanjing
Hut
beer.
number 9.
Number 9.
You got
Welcome. No, always welcome you come here. So
it. Thank you.
come to
Can you ask?
Wukesong.
Can you ask who he wants to win today? Does he want obviously Germany or Canada?
Germany
Or Canada.
你觉得今天冰球比赛加拿大和德国谁会赢？I cheer for Canada.
我觉得加拿大会赢。
He just cheer for Canada also. He thinks
Yay.
Canada will win this game.
All right. So I say good luck China against USA today. Thank you, Didi.
好，拜拜。
Washi Yenqing Beer Hut number 9. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike,
Yeah.
for organizing that. That was amazing. Enjoy the beer. All right,
Yeah,
let's get into
yeah.
some of the pictures. I wanted to get people to know who you are before we got started. Here's a great shot of you being with. What are you doing there, Mike? Obviously, somebody
Well,
was saying, why
this
is
is
a Canadian
actually-
sitting in the beer hut?
Yeah, this is the under 20 Chinese national team. They had a camp in our building here this summer. So work with them along with Clint Hayes and another Canadian guy who's here. We worked with them during their off ice. So that was a national team under 20 camp who was here. So,
All right, so what's your role? Like, why are you in? I know when you and I first met, well, we didn't meet physically; it was virtually. We met while you were in Wuhan prior to the
Yeah.
pandemic, and then you had kind of a little bit of a journey. You went from Wuhan back to Sweden, then you came back, and now you're running the Beijing or the Bloomage, I think it's called the Bloomage
Yeah.
Winter Sports.
So for here, I started in Wuhan. Yeah, and when everything went sideways, I wound up going back to Sweden. I did go back to Wuhan, but during the course of some business trips, I ran into a gentleman who runs Bloomage here, Figo Feng, and this guy, he actually is he's a very forward-thinking gentleman, and I was really enthralled with what he's trying to do when it comes to and this company when it comes to trying to help grow the game here. So they're well connected with CIHA, well connected with the NHL. We actually, in our building here, you've been here in our building to watch some of the NHL games. So
Yes.
this is sort of the center of the universe when it comes to hockey development at the moment. And there's some big plans moving forward after the Olympics. And I was quite honored to be asked to be a part of it here in Beijing.
Well, I got to meet Figo in Vancouver, Victoria, and had an opportunity to talk about the future of your organization. You are in great hands. And of course, they couldn't ask for a better ambassador and somebody to help guide them in the future. Mike, you're an absolute true ambassador for the game and of course Canadian hockey around the world. Listen, I've got some more pictures I want to show. Obviously, we don't experience it live. We can't. Obviously, I would have been there with you. We would have been doing lots of great stuff together. But unfortunately, we know with today and the travel restrictions. But this, talk to me about this particular facility that they've built. It's called the Bird Nest. It is absolutely, truly spectacular, and that's what we're seeing in a lot of the buildings and a lot of the facilities that are set up by the Chinese for these games.
Yeah, well, this the Bird's Nest is down towards the Olympic Park in the center of the city, and when I went to watch the Swedish play the Czechs with their women's game. That you got to walk down the Olympic like a road, and inside this Olympic Park, you have the Bird's Nest where they hosted the opening ceremonies. They have the National Indoor Stadium for ice hockey. Then you have the Ice Cube. So there's like a ton of facilities that are located in there, and they are absolutely spectacular facilities, like amazing. So and actually that was the last photo I got to take just before my camera died, my phone died, and I would have liked to have had a few more because
That's all right.
there at night is amazing.
Okay, so talk to us about the complexity then. You've been around the world, obviously working with hockey, but this is a major, obviously, the Olympics are not just a hockey tournament, ice hockey tournament. It's got all the sports, obviously skiing. And, we know that Beijing doesn't have a lot of snow. They had to make a lot of the snow. Talk to us a little bit about you watching this complex building of a winter festival, if we could call it that. Obviously, the buildings that you have are state of the art. We'll show a couple pictures in a sec, but they've actually had to build or make snow everywhere. How cool, pardon the pun, how cool has that been watching this process?
Yeah, well, and actually, especially because of where we are. So I've been watching the IOC come in and watch them work with our buildings through the course of the summer, and then all the way as they prepare, and then seeing some of the facilities as they're going up outside. So yeah, it's pretty amazing what they've done. And yeah, it's not when everybody's talking about a little bit of lack of snow, but I'm not sure what it's like in many other places. But just what they've done to make sure that the games go off without a hitch when it comes to facilities is is unbelievable. Actually, where they do the ski jump too, you have it's an old industrial area, and where they build it's crazy. And they took this area and they turned it into, again, something like you would have restaurants and pubs, and more of instead of just destroying it, they kind of utilized it in a very unique way, I would say.
So here's a picture of that. They've really turned.
This is inside our complex. So this is just one of the pieces inside of our complex where all the restaurants are, where people can come have a dinner, pubs, nights. So I'm looking at that. We have an outdoor rink right beside that fountain. We have another outdoor rink sheet there that people can come and just grab a public skate at night, and it's great.
Well, you walked me through it. It was unbelievable. Restaurants, bars. I even saw an IKEA, and if I'm not mistaken, I saw a huge McDonald's sign. So we wish we could be there with you, but through your eyes, we're going to have a chance to obviously watch these games a little more up close and personal. Mike, I wanted to talk to you about that now. Obviously, the transition of the city and of China getting ready to welcome the world. Obviously, some of the great statues that have been built. Talk to me a little bit about this. I found this really exciting.
Yeah, and it's such a shame that actually people can't. Well, who knew what the world was going to come to? But that people can't come here to experience that. And that statue's it's two massive made out of cypress players out front of our building, and that sort of greets you at the corner of the complex, and then you can walk along, and there's a whole parade of different other hockey statues and minuets. Yeah, there's many as you're starting to walk into the complex.
Well, but the Chinese take nothing lightly, right? It's very loud, very colorful, very exciting to look at some of these things. And as you saw this buildup, what's the atmosphere right now? I know behind you, technically, that would be absolutely jammed full. I've been inside the arena. I watched Calgary play against Boston a few years ago with Keith Primo. It was a phenomenal facility, state-of-the-art facility. And right across from there, you have a 4,500 seat rink along with an 1,800, and then you return the facility for all the teams. They have their own dressing rooms, of course, but more importantly, they even have their own workout facilities. Yeah, so inside, so we have our two facilities. We have Cadillac and then the Huaxi Live, and inside the Huaxi Live, that was the host for all the women's teams. So they have all their buildings. Yet, so our logo for Huaxi Live. But we have the women's. We're in there, and we have actually, I think we have 3 gyms inside there. So what they had done was set up facilities so that each of the teams had their own gym to work out or prep before they go on the ice, or training before or after. So it's difficult to describe how impressive these facilities are. Like beyond, as I said, state of the art. Each of the dressing rooms, they all have they're wired in for TV, audio, everything, so that the staffs can pull up game highlights or whatever they want to do with audio visual right inside those rooms. Right.
It's such a shame that the world actually can't come here to enjoy this place. It's during this crazy times we have, because I could only imagine how great the atmosphere would be here when we have a full house most of the time in this complex, but to add in have the Planet here would have been great.
Well, that's why we have you, Mike Beharrell, obviously in Beijing, China. Listen, just before we get into talking about Canada, Germany, I did want to ask you how difficult is it to move around? Of course, with COVID, we've heard stories on this side of the ocean. Obviously, behind you is where all the people are going to have to congregate. How do people get there and get into the building? Because you were telling me there's a lot of process to get inside anything live like what's going to go on today.
Yeah, so they're pretty strict. So they limit, and again, they're trying to keep everything safe for the athletes. So the process is, first off, you have to be fortunate to get a ticket. From there, you're going to have to do a couple of PCR tests. So I have to do 2 of those 96 hours before the event, and then they'll just check, make sure that that's up to standard. You have to have all your vaccinations, and then they bring you to the stadium. And the people and the volunteers who are working at these facilities that was 3/4 of the atmosphere for me, was once I got in, was how great the people were. So it's not easy to get to see a game, and I'm disappointed. I mean, I'm right here, and I'd like to see every single game they have in our building, but unfortunately, I can't see them all.
Well, listen, I want to do a big shout out to our producer this morning, Jordan LaRoche, young guy, sometimes a little bit difficult getting out of bed. I had a tough time getting out of bed to be with you, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't ask for anything more than to be with you here this morning in your nighttime to talk everything hockey. I wanted to pull up a picture here. This is phenomenal setup.
Oh yeah, that's a National Indoor Stadium, and it's great. So actually, I was, for my seat for the Sweden Czech game, I was just right behind the shoulder of the Swedish goalie there. And that, again, the facility, the people, the everything, it is incredible what they do and how they operate that facility. I think it's that's where China, the U.S. is playing tonight in their building, that building.
All right, so talk to us then about the facility. Here's a great opportunity for the team that you obviously enjoy. This is Team Sweden. Talk to us about the actual facility. Does it look like an NHL? Obviously, we saw it from that picture, but does it have the atmosphere like an NHL rink?
Yeah, so that's was Team Sweden practicing in our building here, and yeah, it's very much so you could have any international game, NHL game. It's able to host concerts. They can tear down the ice and put in a basketball court pretty quick. Actually, we were also the site for the 2008 Olympics, so the Dream Team played in here. So we had basketball in here, but it's watching them work on it over the course of the last few months, putting in the tech they had for the cameras. So if you've seen some of the 3D that they had for the cameras through the women's game, it's pretty phenomenal technology that they have for. And this facility behind me, the players are able to walk underground to the other facility if they have for trainings or practice. It's hard to describe if you're not actually here to be able to see it.
All right, so let's get into obviously today. What do you expect from the crowd that's coming in now? Obviously, China is playing U.S., Canada playing Germany. How is the atmosphere with that? Because obviously, they are so proud of their accomplishment with this hockey team. What do you see?
Yeah. There's some people who are definitely happy to go watch this Canada-Germany game, but here, every single person will be watching the U.S. China because they're excited to see them get underway. They were very proud of what the women had done, and actually the women had played very well. They, getting a couple of wins in, they almost, first appearance, almost squeaked into quarterfinals. So that game at National Stadium tonight with China USA will be that'll be the only thing that'll be up on social media following it. So it's everybody's tuned into that game. So as much as you can imagine, in Canada, everybody's excited to watch Canada get going. It's the same here for the atmosphere for hockey. And I'm telling you, people are really taken to the game. Like, people are really starting to get into the game of hockey here.
Well, and I know you're right on the ground there seeing this. I want to say, obviously, you're watching Gouche Live here in Toronto, Canada. We have Mike Beharrell all the way in Beijing, China, who's going to be keeping us informed of everything hockey over there. We're looking forward to getting you on a couple times. I would have loved to get you on that fast train. That would have been really cool. But I do just want to say, and we'll continue on in a few seconds about hockey. Breaking news is just on my phone, just popped up. Canada has been awarded a bronze medal in the figure skating. I guess the doping situation has been proven positive for the young lady in Russia. So Canada wins a bronze medal in figure skating. It's unfortunate it has to be done in these circumstances. However, that's sport. And one of the things I think, Mike, I don't know if you listened to the report last night. I was listening to it. It's not a steroid. It's not a performance-enhancing drug that was found in the system.
Yeah, it was something else. I listened to the report too, and exactly they had said it wasn't steroids, but I couldn't tell you exactly. It was another one of those long medical names that popped up on their banned list.
It's unfortunate. Okay, so let's move now to the actual game itself. Canada, obviously, with when the NHL was not able to join the teams, was there a sign of disappointment from the Chinese, not only the organizing committee, but also the hockey nation that's building in China? Was there kind of a, oh my gosh, this is terrible, or hey, this gives our Chinese national team an opportunity to perform at a higher level?
No, people here were definitely disappointed. Everybody had wanted to see McDavid. They wanted to see Crosby. They really wanted to see the NHL stars be here. So it was disappointing for them as well. But at the same time, they realized, there's still a lot of great players who are going to be here. And I mean, with Canada, Owen Powers, we got Owen Powers, McTavish, and who was the other one? Kent Johnson there. Well, 3 guys actually who just didn't get to finish the World Juniors. So they pretty much went home, changed their skates, and then got on the plane to come here. So how amazing is that for those guys?
Mike, you mentioned Owen Power. He was absolutely phenomenal in the World Hockey Championships. A young kid. He actually led that defensive core. What are you most excited about watching this Canada team formulate? It's going to take maybe a couple of games. And I'll tell you what, if there's a team that you didn't want to start off with other than USA, it's Germany. But they brought in the likes of Eric Stahl. You mentioned Mason McTavish, who I just absolutely love his game. But Eric Stahl is going to be the leader to kind of bring everybody and calm them down as they go through this tournament. And playing Team Germany, they have history with this team. They lost in 2018 to this club. Who are you most thinking will be able to bring this team together to go up against a team like Germany tonight?
Well, obviously Stahl. I mean, he already has the one Olympic gold, World Championship. So I think for that team, it's always like that in these tournaments. They kind of get better as they go along. So I think if maybe the Germans have a little bit of advantage with familiarity. Actually, some of the European teams, I would say, have a little bit of advantage with familiarity over the North American teams. But that changes quick. But for me, I'm Powers. I'm really excited to watch him play. I've seen some of his college games, and he doesn't play like he's that size. He's a pretty skilled guy. So for me, I'm really looking forward to see him.
All right, so let's talk about, obviously, the game tonight. Canada, Germany, as Schopy had mentioned. Germany started out 0-2. I don't think anybody should panic. Even if Canada does go down to the Germans today, it's a long tournament. You can afford to give up 1 or 2 games. What do you expect from these two teams tonight? Is it a wait and see, or is somebody going to come out of the chute? Will Germany say, listen, we've got to get on the Canadians, get them down early? Sometimes you kind of play that cat and mouse game. What do you see from this game tonight?
I don't know. I actually think that both teams are going to go at it right quick. I don't think you're going to see so much patience. I think everybody will want to set a tone very early and try and get involved very quickly. So, the German game, each of these different countries, they play a little bit of a different style, but Germany definitely has North American sort of similarities to it. So I would expect that both of those teams will want to crash and bang pretty early and get involved. And that first goal tonight, I think, is going to be very important for your mentality, for overall everything. I mean, especially Canada being a new group, it's important for them to get that first goal to get that little bit of confidence going so they can continue on.
All right, we've already made our predictions. You said 3-2 Canada. I thought 5-2 is going to be, and I know that I'm going to take a little bit of heat from my friends in Germany. I do love the German national team. Franz Reindl, who started the organization, you may have known him, as the president of the German Ice Hockey Federation. They've come such a long way. And you, Mike, being over in Europe, know that some of these organizations are going into teams and they're playing Team Canada, Team USA. They sometimes just want to compete. They don't even think, they don't go in it to win. They just go in not to get embarrassed. And that used to be the mentality of Germany, but it's no longer that. This is a very formidable team. This is a team that can go up against Finland, Sweden, Russia, Slovakia, Czechia, I guess it's called now.
Yeah.
With your experience of what's gone on over in Europe, now in China, have you seen the same confidence level in this German national team?
Yeah, well, especially with what they did. I mean, I think that changed everything. So nobody's counting them out as any kind of underdogs. And now that, the teams that probably suffered the most from not having the NHL guys is Canada and USA. So, team like Germany definitely now has a lot of confidence going into what they're doing. But how they're viewed, they're not viewed. Well, I would say actually just about all teams, nobody's viewing any of these teams as easy targets anymore, or that they're not on par with anybody else. Even the Danes yesterday pulling off that win over Czech. It's events like this, anything can happen.
Don't forget it's Czechia. It's no longer Czech.
Yeah.
Czechia.
Yeah,
So this is
Czechia.
Mike Beharrell, the head coach of the Blue Winter Sports. You're sitting in the Washi Yanqing Beer Hut 9. I can't thank you enough. We're going to get you on. We're going to get you on more. I love the fact that Dee Dee came on. She's going to the game. She can get us some pictures that we can show over the next couple of weeks. And of course, the owner popping on and saying hello. Obviously couldn't speak English, but Dee Dee did a great job in translating. Mike, before we wrap up the Canada-Germany game, who else impresses you? I know you're wearing a Swedish flag on your shoulder. You played over there, or you coached over in Sweden. Is there any team that you're excited to see? The Russians played the other night against Switzerland. It was a 1-0 win. Finland's playing now, if I'm not mistaken, or it could be over.
Oh, yeah, they just finished up. I think Finland just finished up. So I can't remember the score. I think it was 3-1 last I checked.
So is there anybody else that you think, listen, we know that Canada should be up there. We're thinking the Americans should be strong. As this tournament goes along, those type of teams are only going to get better. We've talked about the Germans. They've played a lot. Let's talk about the China national team. They played KHL. They have a lot of familiarity. Is that going to be an advantage for them?
Yeah, actually, especially today, they got that American team. The American team's got, I think they have five or six guys who are straight out of the World Juniors also. So, they have a pretty, I think they're the youngest team here. And so for the Chinese team, who has played together pretty much all season in the KHL, I think they may be, that little bit of a familiarity. If there's a game that I would think that maybe they can steal something on and pull off a Denmark, I think that could be this game today. Because, I expect the U.S. has probably 12 or 13 highly touted guys on that roster, future stars, college guys who are coming up. So this might be that one game where, just as things are getting going, that familiarity might be a little bit of an advantage for the Chinese team.
Well, of course, your women's team is doing very well. Their showing against some of the bigger powers was fantastic. So, what are your expectations for this Chinese national team? Do they have a chance? Though, as of today, you say they could perform an upset, but if that doesn't happen, what is the success or the expectation of success for this Chinese national team?
Well, actually, I think you judge success on how many kids are starting to throw on jerseys and pick up the stick here after the Olympics. So,
Right.
I think for them, there's a big talk about the amount of foreigners that they have on their roster. But they were awarded the games in 2015, so it takes 15 years to produce a hockey player. They're at that stage. There was no way that they have enough players to be able to do it.
Right.
So to compete at that level, so they went this route, and I think for me that the guys who chose to do that, they have their own personal views why they did it. I think they support it, but I think that we see the success from them years down the road.
Yeah.
So I'm any games that they can pull off a win or keep everything tight. I think they're only going to inspire more kids here. We had in Beijing when the games were awarded, they didn't have maybe 2,000 kids playing hockey. There's 10,000 kids in the Beijing area alone now who are playing hockey. So it's just growing exponentially. And if this team has any kind of success again long term, maybe we see more and more Chinese players being able to go abroad, play in these pro leagues, and representing it. And at some point, they have a pool of players that can, bring together their own national team.
Listen, a lot of people won't remember it, but in 1988, when Germany came over to Canada to play in the Winter Olympics, almost 70% of the players playing for that national team had Canadian or American in them. They were German Canadians, German Americans, and look at where they are today. They needed that support, which China has got now. All right, buddy, we're going to wrap it up with this. I want to show this picture one more time. This is what it's all about. You mentioned that the game is really growing in where you are, obviously in Beijing and around the country. A lot of people don't realize China is a winter country, right? And look at this excitement from these young boys wearing their jerseys.
Yeah, those kids are actually some pretty talented kids. Like you could put them on par with anybody, anywhere, in any country. They fit right in. They're actually it's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is the goal was to try and have 300 million winter sport users, and I think they're reaching that. The skiing is really taken off here. You've seen ski resorts everywhere, and numbers of people who I see who are personally starting to enjoy that sport. And same thing for hockey or just skating in general. In our facility now, when we have it in the summer, we have some, if you want to call it public skating. I'm blown away by how many people now are starting to come and have grab a pair of skates and give it a try. So I really think that this will be the start of a bonanza of new winter sport users, which is great for everybody. When you can have more people get involved in the sport, it's fabulous for everybody.
No better Western than Bonanza over here on TV. Yeah. All right, listen, you're Washi Live. You're in Beijing. You are going to get ready to watch, not live, but close with the atmosphere. Canada take on the Germans, and of course, China taking on the U.S. I just want to thank you, Mike, for being a part of this today. I know we're going to get you on more and more. I know we're going to be working together in the future to help grow the game, not only in China and all the great things you do, but also I can't wait to get over there and you take me to Washington Yenqing Beer Hut number 9 for a little bit.
I guarantee he'll have you a table set up ready to go for you.
Prost.
Oh, yeah. We'll give you one here.
All right.
Perfect.
Give my love to Dee again. Make sure we get a couple of pictures. And listen, say hello to Figo for us.
Yeah, will do. And great. I appreciate having you on.
Look forward to talking the next couple of days. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. That's Mike Beharrell. Unbelievable when you think about this, guys. He's sitting in a bar having a beer just outside of where Canada will take on Germany in a few minutes, and he has the opportunity. He's sitting in a bar. He can't get in the rink because they only allow certain people, but one of his representatives, Didi, will be there, and I know she'll be feeding him information, and we'll get a couple pictures to show you on tomorrow night's show. Don't forget, you're watching Gouche Live right here early in the morning. Obviously, as you see this in the daytime when you're watching us on Facebook and, of course, YouTube, this game will already be over. I predicted 5-2. I know that Mike's picked 3-2, and even Schopy has picked Canada 3-2 in overtime. We're so excited. Hey, thank you. It's Gouche Live right here, brought to you by those good people, the Hockey News, and of course, Fired Up Network. See you tomorrow.
You've been listening to Gouche Live with your host, Kerry Goulet, better known as The Gooch, brought to you by the Hockey News and Sports Illustrated.